We look at the news through a horror lens. We lens news through horror. We horror news. Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Jeremiah.
And we are back for yet another exciting episode, number 273.
373.
Yeah, that.
It's a palindrome episode.
I swear every week when I go to do the number, I always do the 2 before.
Yeah.
3 just sounds too high for us. It sounds like we haven't
We're
been
almost
around.
We're almost at 4. Yeah.
God damn it. We've been, when we hit 400s and we're like 423, I'll probably say 223 still.
I should also note that I have not announced one of these in a long time, ladies and gentlemen, for quite a while. This is a prime number episode, and palindromic. It's a palindromic prime, meaning 373. Backwards, it's also 373, and it is a prime number.
That's awesome. I hadn't thought of that. It's been a long time.
It looked like a prime number because I'm like, well, 360, then you only got 13 left over. That doesn't sound right. So I figured probably, seems about right. All right. Well, we've got a good little show for you. We're gonna get into some bringing back an old segment we haven't done in a little while. But Scott, you get lost in thought a lot. You got lost in thought with what was it called? Goonin' last week.
Last week we were gooning it up.
Yep,
big old goonin' episode.
Yeah, big old goonin'.
We had a goonin' party. Wait, no, we did not have a goonin' party.
No, we did not have a goonin' party.
I would never have a goonin' party. I don't think I could ever jerk off with another guy in the same room. I don't see why I would want to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever have. I don't think I've ever jerked off in the same room as another dude. I don't think so.
Specifically, I've never jerked off with another dude in the room too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're good in that one.
Yeah.
But that's gooning.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there edging for 20 hours, but with friends, or without. But, gooning parties are a thing.
A gooning party, you gotta have a friend. otherwise you're just gooning.
Well, you can do it over Zoom, I guess. You could do Zoom gooning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gazoomin', yeah. Anyway, we're done with Zoom. We're done with goonin'.
Hi, Zoom support. My goonin' isn't quite working like I wanted. We have 9 goons on the line right now, and I'm only seeing 7. This was supposed to be a big old goonin' party.
No, we found out that Franklin did an H2L and he came on his keyboard and it shorted it out. That's why he's not on it. Okay, never mind. Sorry, Zoom.
Thanks, Zoom support.
Yeah. But anyway, this is not a goonin' episode. This is a Gollywog episode.
Yeah, I figured out a new term this past week. I'd never heard of it before, but once I heard what it was, I was like, oh yeah, I totally know what this is, but I got some thoughts. Gollywogging. Gollywogging, for those who do not know, and I'm not going to go off like I did last week saying, I've been gollywogging all week. I don't want to get canceled right now. I like my life. I like my job. I like my family.
You don't have to teach everyone. You were teaching me. Teach me what gollywogging is, Scott. I do not know.
A gollywog is, you remember those old caricatures of black people with the big lips, the black face, the little white eyes?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a gollywog.
Okay.
So if you ever go to an antique store and you see those racist salt shakers look like Mammy or whatever.
First of all, I would also recommend, first of all, buy those to get them out of the hands of actual racist people, and then look up. There's an actual place online that's owned
where you can sell them to racist people.
Yeah, exactly.
For a high markup.
There is a African American owned curated. Essentially museum of the racist past and those kind of artifacts that you could literally donate that to, and that way you keep it out of the hands of racists, but also get it off the shelves, but also put it in the hands of people who can utilize it in a very proper manner.
So you brought up something that I was actually going to bring up in a little bit. Is I'm a huge thrift store yard selling dude. I love it.
Yeah,
I love,
me
I love
both,
finding
yeah.
weird random shit.
Me and you both.
And-
The reason I didn't go with you on Saturday is because I'm like, I need to declutter my life right now before I get back into
look
that.
at me getting a Etsy copy of our friend Jesse Lonergan's
Hydra,
first comic.
Yeah, his comic Hydra, which is I think the first one he got on I guess technically Image is still indie actually, but a major label, which is Image Comics.
Did he win a Peabody for that or something? Or
he was nominated for an Eisner for that.
Nominated for an Eisner for it?
Nominated for an Eisner. But yeah, so I mean, he's look up Jesse Lonergan. He has Lonergan. He has a lot of great stuff that he had out. He had plenty of stuff out before that.
He's
but
drawing for
all
Star Wars
independent.
High Republic. He's drawing for Hellboy.
Yeah,
written
he's
by
doing
Mike Mignola.
like a dedicated
his art is awesome.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us, go look him up.
Yep.
Yeah, his original.
He's releasing a tarot deck by the end of the year. He's trying to.
Are you kidding
a full tarot
me?
deck. Yeah, he announced it on his Facebook page. He said he's aiming to get it done by the end of the year. He's been releasing images, like individual ones, and I remember being
I've seen some of those.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was doing
and he kept saying he wasn't going to do a full deck, probably because it takes a lot of work to commit. And I think finally he's at a point. He's like, okay, it's official. He has a distributor or somebody who's actually printing it and putting it out. He's partnered with somebody,
right.
so he's hoping by the end of the year he'll have a complete tarot deck. I love the art so far.
I need to
It's been awesome.
contact him and see if I can buy an original piece of art of one of them.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be
great stuff.
It's got unless they're all digital. We don't know how he's actually.
No,
doing
he's still doing everything. I mean, he has got a lot of. I follow him on Patreon, and he does a lot of.
I'll contact him early then. And be like,
he
just
he
heard
does,
about this.
He does most of it. The colors. It'll be a black and white version because. Oh, actually,
I would love to have a framed
some of the colors.
Tarot card of his.
He's been doing some colors a lot with like stamps and stuff, which is a really cool textural thing. But for the most part, he's still doing Photoshop colors. But he has a unique coloring style. But yeah, you'll get a like. So he still does hand drawn pen stuff. He does touch ups and he does some. He said he's been doing a little bit of digital ink stuff and also edits directly in the computer, like where instead of going back and cutting a panel out and putting it over, he literally scans it in the computer and fixes it in Photoshop or whatever.
Sense.
Yeah, so I follow.
Use the tools
shit.
available to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it speeds things up, and nobody's going to be able to tell the difference when it's like a little thing, you know. And it's like he's not doing pure digital inking. And honestly, if he did, fine, it's a tool. Like absolutely.
But yeah, I got one of the original Etsy prints, if you will.
The newsprint
style. Number.
Yeah.
One. Mine was like 268 of 1,000.
Yeah, the comic's called Hydra, Hedra, and it went through at least 2 printings at Image because it was sold out.
He also gave me a second printing signed, so now I have a second printing signed and an original.
And I have 3 pieces of art from Hydra.
We're fans.
Yeah, and that was when I was able to get 3 pieces of art for $250, which now I don't think buys you a 6x8.
Yeah,
so
right. That's what I'm worried about. Asking him to get one of those tarot cards.
Yeah, they're probably like
$300.
You know? Like no, I mean he does well. I guess it's not a commission. It's
We're
already
also
existing
friends.
one.
He might. I'm
sure he does friends and family. Also, like he charges a lot.
You hear
for
that,
commissions,
Jesse? If you're listening, we're expecting a friends and family deal.
I would expect existing pieces of art he probably sells for cheaper than like a commission costs you like for 11x17 commission costs you like $900, but he's coming up with the idea and creating it from scratch. That makes a lot more difference than something you have lying around that's already been used. So who knows? I guess
even 5-6 years ago, an original comic page would usually get you a $50 price tag at a convention.
No, when at the convention, I like even the indie guys were $80 at the low end.
I got an Action Comics page from Superman where he's fighting zombies, like from the actual comic for $50.
Where'd you get that?
At one of the conventions you and I went
to.
See,
like, okay, that was way out of the ordinary. Like Kevin Conrad's that I got for him. From him was $100, but he sold it to me for cheaper. Granted, when you buy more than one, they'll toss a bunch of extra stuff in.
I got a Kevin Conrad page. It was like $55 from him.
I don't know. I mean,
they were priced differently. Each page had a different price.
Yeah. I bought like a really sweet. It was inks only, over top of Blue Line, which all of us are anyway.
Yeah, I got the same, but it was Superman fighting zombies.
Yeah, I've got just werewolves versus zombies. I think something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
I've got it's a fucking kick-ass one. But
maybe I did pay a little more, but in my head I thought it was $55.
Yeah, no, I mean generally, because I'm talking about the same exact conventions. Like generally, I mean,
because it was Kevin
Conrad. Small indie ones, like you could go for, like I definitely bought some like Sam Ballings and stuff for like $30, $40, but like generally 11x17, like in print. The guy that was posted up next to us, I bought a bunch of his stuff. So I think by the time it was done, I probably spent $50 a page. But like I bought, they were originally like $80. I bought them at the end of the convention. Also. Walk around the end of convention. People don't want to pack up.
Last day of convention sales.
People don't want to pack up and be like, "Yo, how much for like 5 pieces of your original art? You're gonna get 50% off." They want to get rid of it. They either have hit their mark or they haven't. They like. I'm not saying screw them over. If you want to.
If
you like the stuff, pay good money for it, but like these are creators. But if you're limited and they're packing up, they haven't sold it yet anyway, they want to get rid of it, go check it out. Yeah.
The whole reason we talked about yard selling, go down the Jesse Lonigan rabbit hole, art rabbit hole, and comic rabbit hole was Gollywogs.
Yes.
I have actually wondered in my own head, if I went to a yard sale and saw one, would I purchase it? It'd be the same idea as like, what if you saw Nazi paraphernalia at a yard sale? Would you purchase it? I mean, it is unique.
And again, I think the
it's
key is
rare. It's going to have value someday, but it's also inherently evil material.
For me, I would be purchasing it to get it in the hands of actual collectors who idolize it, and then I would donate it to a museum or something that would curate it and utilize it for its proper use, which is a historical context only and not an idolization.
Yeah, I was thinking like,
unless it was so expensive, in which case I might just, maybe call on behalf of, or call one of those places and be like, hey, by the way, I've got a bead on some fucking Nazi medals would it look weird for me to purchase them? But yeah, then I would have on record.
It would look weirder if you had a room for them.
Yes, yeah, like
I have a toy room.
Yes.
If I suddenly had I had a Nazi helmet with a swastika on it in that room, you'd be like,
You're talking about the guy who funded fucking Clarence Thomas. Yeah. He had a Nazi paraphernalia room, essentially. So, yeah, but he's like, oh, just so I remember how bad it was.
Yeah. I think I would purchase stuff for the similar reason. I think I might be a little less altruistic. I might look to make profit, but not selling it to a Nazi.
Yeah, well,
I'd be like, I'd like to make a little money off this.
But I
also would make sure I was not selling it to someone who would come all over and love it.
The reason I would literally go out of my way to not make money on it, because then you are profiting off of that thing. So regardless,
as long as you're giving it to the right people.
But you're still making a profit off. Like if you want to pass it along to the right person for the exact same price, I would say that's fine. But like the second I'm profiting off of it, I'm profiting off of some of the worst shit in humanity. Even if it's going to the right person, I'm saying, oh, I'm going to buy this horrible thing to then make money on it. And it's just like, granted, you're giving money to somebody, but I would feel like if it wasn't too expensive, I would make sure, also to the right person, quote unquote, it's literally it has to be to a museum or something that's curated and that you can check up. You can't just be a person going, yeah, I'll use it for the right reasons. I don't like Nazis either. It's got to be something you can like check. And also you can donate it. You can donate it, and then it's a tax credit. Like Yeah,
it can't be like an ad on TV like, I'm Jim Jorgensen, and I'll buy your Nazi paraphernalia. Don't Google me.
Yeah, don't Google me. We got a don't Google me thing. We'll fill you guys in on at some point. But the other thing about that too is, a lot of that stuff you have to find different avenues to sell it. The reason you could buy it at a yard sale, but you can't sell it on eBay.
Now, when looking up Gollywog, and I wrote Gollywogging because I thought it was a funny term.
Like when you go yard sailing?
Yeah.
You go Gollywogging?
But I noticed through some research that it does have an original point in time where the term Gollywog comes from. It's from a children's book from the 1800s, 1900s. Okay. And there is a character in it. It was Gollywog. And it is definitely a caricature of a black person in that old-timey, mammy, giant red lips, little white eyes, super black face. But the character from the book Gollywog is so fucking frightening that I'm not religious. I am still praying to the gods that Jordan Peele is aware of this.
Yeah.
And will make a horror movie down the road called Gollywog.
Yeah.
And it is literally this creature that looks like the children's book illustration, because you could do the most amazing thing with it. Make it so it gets Candyman or I don't know, any of those like monsters from movies where you can call upon it and it'll kill racists.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Are you looking up the photos?
No, I was actually specifically looking up because you had me going.
Look up Gollywog children's book.
Okay.
And then the illustrations. Tell me this wouldn't make an amazing like Bloody Mary, Candyman, Freddy Krueger type creature. But only if it's handled well by a black creator, black writers, black producers.
Yeah, again, like putting it in the right.
And use it to.
Oh yes, I've seen this. Yeah,
and use it to go after, say, like white supremacists.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally just what I thought. I mean, it's
scarier though because it's actually quite big compared to the kids.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's got like the frazzled like hair.
Frazzled hair. Yeah. I'm thinking like a black guy gets, this is new content, by the way, like in trouble with like some white supremacists. They like kill his dog and maybe like rape his daughter. Like it's really hard at the beginning. And then he like goes to a yard sale or a thrift store the next day. Maybe he works at an antique store and someone brings in one of those dolls and he's like, this is racist as fuck. And they're like, well, if you don't want to buy it, I'll just leave it here. And then the doll starts talking to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll take care of those white supremacists for you."
I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole.
And then
with Gollywog,
essentially
honestly.
he sicks it on them, and it's like a giant racist caricature, but it kills the racist that made it or who care about it.
You've definitely gotten me down because like there's so much out there on it. Like
much art, much weird shit.
I guarantee I've bumped across the term, but it's just never hit me because I definitely bumped across this lore before. So it's just now it's got me down like a real.
What's that
deep
Australian
Google
horror
hole,
movie where the kid has the creature? It's kind of imaginary, comes after them. It's kind of a slow burn, but it's good.
Babadook.
Yeah,
that was Babadook was the Joe Bob first movie this past weekend, actually.
Nice.
So you got to learn a lot of good stuff. So I actually watched it for the first time since 2015 when it came out. Yeah.
So basically,
I actually liked it better
instead of
the
Babadook,
second time around because I love Jennifer Kent. Yeah.
I want Jordan Peele's Gollywog. That's what I want. That's the movie I want to see. I want to see a lot of skinheads and Nazis and MAGAs die at the hands of a righteous Gollywog, one that's working for the black community against its own creators. And you can even do the last podcast on the left. They always love talking about the thought-created monsters. What are they called again?
I don't know.
Where a creature becomes like Slender Man's one.
Yeah.
Where you think about it, so it becomes real.
Okay, yeah, I don't
it's
know
one of their favorite
I
creatures they use on the podcast.
I don't know what the term
time.
is. Oh, you mean like they use not Svengoolie Man. What is they use the Squid Man, whatever they call it. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, there's a term for if enough public consciousness believes in a thing, it becomes real.
Oh god, yeah. Okay, so you're talking about the terminology itself. I don't know the term.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've heard it, but I just.
But basically, that's what this would be. It would be if enough.
It's a mimetic concept. It's like something. It's an idea spreading through a society. It's very mimetic,
and it becomes real if enough people believe in it. So basically, the Gollywog creature becomes real because of the Nazis, but then it talks to the main black character and is like, "I am real because of them, and I'm willing to help you get rid of them." And the whole goal of the Gollywog is to kill enough white supremacists and Nazis where it ceases to exist because its existence is hate.
Yeah. And I would
it's say, like, I want to kill them all so I can fade. Like, at the end of the movie, it kills the last Nazi, and then it just kind of goes, foof, and, like, just disappears.
There'll always be more Nazis to kill.
I'm just saying, like,
it's a franchise.
That's how you get sequels.
That's a franchise in the making, yeah.
Yeah, it's a franchise. Basically, just Jordan Peele's Gollywog is I want this as a fucking movie.
I don't know. Like, it's rare that we get full, fleshed out new content and lost in thought. I think with that, we should probably hit our first official segment that we haven't done in quite a long time. Blinded Me with Science.
Science?
Blinded me with science. She blinded me with science.
All right, you brought the first story to the table this week and blinded me with science.
Blinded me with science. All right, a security researcher finds Coldplay lyrics in Kingston SSD firmware. Now, security researcher was doing. You can.
First of all, for the listener, what is a Kingston SSD?
Well, that would be a Kingston. I assume they're talking about the solid state digital drive, right? Because
that's what I assumed too.
Yeah,
I just figured a lot of
because Kingston makes storage.
We're both
mostly.
techie, so I want to make sure the layman man.
Yes.
And
okay.
woman.
Yes. So a solid state. It's a hard drive that doesn't spin. Solid state. It's actually if you've got a laptop, it's most likely in there. If you got flash drives, those kind of things, those are all solid state to a degree. Yeah. Anyway, so this is
explain it to the audience like we're explaining it to one of our bosses.
Yeah. Pay me, I'll fucking do it. Give me money. But yeah, so security researchers, what they do is, and this is such a fucking crazy task of a job. Like they break down like straight up hexadecimal code. Like it's in, if you look, it's just rows of just what looks like gibberish, but it's the really boiled down instructions that get down to a certain point. And some things are, can pretty much, it kind of just sits in this realm. It's not like reading a programming language, which is really, people are like, oh, I can look under the hood and totally tell you what this JavaScript is doing. Yeah, that's because it's human readable. This is not human readable, but there's, you can decipher it. Obviously, there's ways to decipher everything. So these hex editors, if you see them, they're actually fun, used in like art and glitch stuff, where you can hex edit videos and images to make really cool like glitch type. That's how they do a lot of that stuff. Obviously, they do a lot now with programs that just obfuscate that layer. But you've got all the numbers and letters to the left, and then you've got like what it actually kind of translates to or decodes to in the right-hand side, and this person noticed that they were going through, that they suddenly came across a pattern, and they were the lyrics to Coldplay's Scientists.
I've never heard that song, I don't think.
You have, I can't remember what it sounds like. It's one of their big ones. You could not have gotten away with
Every
from
Coldplay song sounds the same, like,
Yes.
I'm a scientist, and
Yep.
scientist,
Yeah.
scientist.
So
I'm a scientist.
That's
my Coldplay
You
impression.
would recognize it because there was no getting away from it as one of their hits because it was all over the place. I honestly can't even tell you which one it is, but I know that it's one of the big
My
ones.
ex likes Coldplay so much, and I never
Oh, is that one of the reasons?
I detest it because she liked it so much.
I've never been on the hate Coldplay bandwagon. I've just never really liked them either.
I've got hate just because.
It's not even so much for them.
associated
It's
hate.
association. Yeah, it's hate by association.
Although when I listen to them,
They're fine.
I can't break that association now, so
Of course,
I just
yes.
hate when I hear it now.
Yeah, exactly. So it has turned into a visceral hate that actually has made you associate the music with it, therefore dislike the music, even though you don't necessarily blah blah blah. You could probably hear a Coldplay song and somebody tells you it's somebody else, and you'd be like, except for the fact that it's so obviously Coldplay because
Yeah.
Chris Martin's voice is very, very distinct. I don't harbor any opinions. Fine, go like your Coldplay. That's fine. Or hate them,
I could
or
give a
hate
shit
them.
if
Yeah.
anyone likes anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm generally not one of those because they're also sort of low hanging fruit for a lot of people to shit on too. And I'm like, I'm not going to go that route either because honestly, get a little. It's like when people just want to use Nickelback as the brunt of every joke. It's like, yeah, they suck, but
Coldplay I can
yeah.
objectively recognize as being talented music that I don't
True,
like.
yeah, you just don't like,
Nickelback I can objectively say is not talented music that I don't like. It's just music. It's just music.
Yeah, it's not even about
It's a bar band that got a little too famous.
It's not even about the talent. It's like the
Nickelback
skill.
should have had a successful small town career playing in their pub every night.
Well, and the thing and the thing about them is just they're not any worse than any other music in that sphere. It's just they. So for me, it's not even that I care about defending them as a band. It's just I feel like anybody who uses them as a part of the brunt of the joke, I feel are lazy in comedy, and I just don't respect lazy comedians.
Slow hanging meat.
Yeah, exactly. Slow hanging meat. I'm just just come up with something come up with your own thing. It's lame. I don't care if you hate them or love them, but I'm thinking it's lazy comedy, and I hate lazy comedy more than I hate music I don't like. So anyway, this person has the researcher Nicholas Stark. Oh, Nicholas Stark. The geekiest of the Game of Thrones clan, just sitting in there analyzing solid-state digital firmware. No, don't put me on the wall, Father. I get frostbite really easily. Let me Google things. Anyway, no idea why the lyrics are there. Said he's never seen anything like it. However, it's not the first time strange data has been found in computer resource files. For example, and I looked this one up as to confirm this. Apple included a PDF of the Bitcoin white paper within every Mac OS release since 2018. I actually did a check on that, and it seems like it's actually legit.
Man, I just launched the company's remake website today, and
Apple's?
No, ours.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I was thinking I know it's not HTML and it's not Hexa, but at the same time, I could just slip into the CSS, something that would not break the site at all.
Oh yeah, but
it could just be
literally it could be a comment too. You could just put and honestly, the other thing about CSS is it doesn't raise any errors, so you can literally just type a block of text and just if you look under the hood,
you just don't tag it or anything.
Chrome is going to just be like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to ignore it. Whereas if you do that with JavaScript, it's going to throw an error and your page isn't going to load. CSS is going to be like, I just ignore it. Literally.
No open and closing tags. Just space.
Yep.
Paste.
Yep.
Space.
I mean,
save.
Dude, remember there was the guy who got there was a security researcher, freelancer who got sued, and I haven't actually checked out how this ended up. Got sued by the governor of a state because he actually he went and reported the fact that their website had people's social security numbers exposed if you right clicked and just hit inspect element, and the governor wanted to sue that programmer for looking under the hood and stealing their data. It's like, first of all, you made this data, and you're clearly embarrassed.
Anyone who knows how to click developer mode on a web browser would see it. Anyone, and it's not stealing. It's looking at a thing that's public facing. You
put something on a lower shelf, hoping nobody would take it. Yeah. Somebody found it and they took it, and then you're like, "Why'd you take that? You weren't supposed to."
Yeah, most people don't understand that developer mode basically makes the back end of a website front end. So if you don't want something seen, don't have it be there to be seen.
Well, exactly. You have to do that's where shit gets done on the server. Don't do client-side stuff, JavaScript and CSS and HTML. Though I'm sure this is riveting for people.
Look
out
at
there.
us being geeks.
Yeah, anyway, so I'll get out of that geek mode. But yeah, so that was Blinded Me with Science for that. I did like the thought of just hiding random stuff in. I mean, I've definitely hidden stuff in like for fun in certain web pages, little Easter eggs of sorts. Anyway, this is an Easter egg. This is a very deeply like hidden. This is the firmware, by the way, has been out. Was released in 2020. This version, so it's actually been about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years that it's been there going on undetected.
I remember, this is a one aside, sorry, before we get off this one techie story. I remember one of our meetings, Slow Hanging Meat, maybe you remember this. I was trying to say that I was going to do something that would be good down the road and brought up to other people above me down the road. And my analogy mashup that came out of my mouth that you laughed at instantly was, I'm going to kick the bucket up the ladder. Yeah. And I meant kick the can down the road or send it up the ladder. Yeah, I said I'm going to kick that bucket up the ladder.
The bucket up the ladder.
So it's not even a can, but it made sense in my head. I'm like, the analogies, they both go blip and they become one.
And I just picture...
It's going to go down the road and up the ladder. And whoa, we're not even going to use a can.
Yeah. And I just picture like somebody just like on a ladder being like, hey, want to hand me that paint? Just cool, thanks. Just covered in paint.
And sometimes those little mess ups in my brain, I fucking love them.
Slow hanging meat. But yeah, so that's my entry into Blinded Me with Science. Scott, you've got one here that you brought.
I do. Spider-like robotic AI arms can be attached to and controlled by humans soon because the tests are already underway. I actually titled the story, "You too can have Iron Spider arms on your back," like the modern day Spider-Man with the Iron Man suit who has robot arms.
Yep.
Basically, because that's what it looks like. If anyone knows comics or watched Infinity War, you know what Iron Spider is. He has like a slightly robotic suit, and he makes spider arms out of his back.
Looks pretty cool.
These are the exact same fucking arms as Spider-Man has, and you can control them with your mind with the help of AI. A Japanese robotics company called Jizai.
Yep.
Jizai. I guess languages, that sounds different in every language.
Oh, yeah.
These Jiz arms are engineered as a system of spider-like robotic limbs consisting of 6 arms that can be controlled by the user wearing them. These robotic arms can be attached, detached, and even replaced altogether in order to redefine and revolutionize the way humans interact with robots and artificial intelligence. The primary goal of Jiz Arms is to ensure that human beings can act with robots and AI in a way that feels natural and comfortable, as if the artificial components were extensions of oneself. When I saw this, I was thinking Dr. Octopus, Iron Spider, and then my brain went south hard, and not in like a dirty way, more like a Jeff Bezos coming in his pants, going, "You mean I can just slap these in some fucking line worker?"
Oh yeah, and suddenly they can do 6.
Fire 4 line workers.
Because this one now does 6 times the picking.
He's got robot arms, picking in front, picking in the back, left and right.
And they're just tiers going up too, so he can pick like essentially 3 stories.
Climb up them, climb down them.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't even need a forklift anymore. Literally, like a worker could be like, doop, 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 up a wall.
Oh, yeah.
2 arms pick up the case, doop, 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 down, and then he just puts it on the line. No conveyor belt, or no anything.
Yeah. Sanchez, scuttle to lunch. Come back when you're ready. Oh, man.
Your lunch break should also be a quarter of the time, because you got one arm putting the hoagie in your mouth, the other arm's fucking putting a big gulp down you. Like, you're basically being force-fed by Bezos arms.
Yeah, I feel like you only have one mouth, so...
Bezos basically puts you in like a booth where you have to shit, first of all. The exact bathroom break, hoagie break. Like, one arm's wiping you, one arm's shoving food in your mouth, so you're going in, coming out.
Yeah, oh my God.
One's like scratching you, one's giving you a massage, because, that's Bezos time.
Yeah, that's productivity, baby.
Yep, so you basically like, all right, you're doing the job of 4 people, your break's 1/4 of the time. These robot arms are revolutionizing things. Yeah. Oh, if you walk out of the factory wearing the robot arms, you'll be shot on sight.
Oh, yeah, by the robot arm.
Yeah, they all point at you
technically
and shoot in.
It's technically suicide. Yeah. So we don't even
suicided by robot arms.
We don't even have to carry through your fucking life insurance policy because you killed yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you know not to leave the factory wearing the robot arms.
Oh, yeah.
It literally says in your contract, if I walk out of the factory wearing robot arms, they will suicide me.
Yes, exactly.
And you have to sign off on it.
Suicided by spider arms, just like he wanted to go, of course. Well, all right. Actually, and I was that dead. Somebody was posting recently about that dead worker that was found in the Arby's freezer. Which
down in Louisiana.
I almost added to the show, but people were pointing out like the fact that the very next day Arby's had a position open. By the way, they do need to fill the position. So I'm not like too, but people were pointing out
it feels cold.
No, yeah, that's what he said.
I did not mean. Wow. Accidental humor.
It does. You think like they could be like, hey, we'll go a little understaffed for like a week, but people were pointing out like, hey, for everybody working your ass off, just remember that your employer there's a chance your employer is going to post your find your replacement the next day, whereas your family has lost you forever. Yeah. Maybe make time for the good things. Obviously, not everybody has that luxury. People were like, you should spend more time not working so hard. And people were like, great, find me a job where I don't have to fucking work 90 hours a week to fucking get by. So it'd be good if we could fix that. And then, yeah.
Go look at the walk-in, sir. I found the meat.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a meat I was supposed to find.
I found the meat. Dun, 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 dun. Why does that sting play every time I say it? It's company policy. God.
AI in the speakers hears you say it.
Oh, God, it's my brother. Oh, I found the meat. Dun, 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 dun. Stop it. Oh, God. Anyway, so, yeah.
You do know that anytime someone dies at Arby's, H.R. Benjamin has to speak at their eulogy.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It's just, so, yeah.
I mean, that's the best part of dying at Arby's is H.R. Benjamin. Yeah. Definitely has to come and do, like, an Archer impression at your eulogy.
Oh, John H. Benjamin. John Benjamin.
Yeah, that one.
H.R. Benjamin.
Archer.
John H. Benjamin.
Bob from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, actually, I go with him as Dr. Katz's son. That's the very first time I ever heard him, back in the early mid-90s.
I would go with that, then Archer, then Bob's, and then the crossover. Did you see the crossover?
No, I didn't.
That was in a season of Archer where he got hit over the head. And,
I did see that.
And he woke up in Bob's Burgers as Bob with the wife and kids.
Yes, I saw that one, that crossover. Yeah.
And then assassins came and he killed them in front of his Bob's Burgers family.
Yes, yep.
That was pretty fucking amazing. That was probably the best cartoon crossover I think I've ever seen. And we've seen Futurama, Simpsons crossovers, Family Guy, Simpsons. There's a lot of good cartoon crossovers in our lives.
Yeah, that's
I think the Bob's Burgers Archer one might be the best. Because the Simpsons Family Guy one was weak, honestly.
Yeah. There's some
and
of
the
that just felt like
Simpsons one was like a joke.
Where it's purely finally just giving it to people being like, let's finally do a Freddy Jason movie or something, which actually was still a fun movie.
That was such a good movie.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That was such a good movie.
That one actually fucking delivered. So.
That might be one of the best crossover movies.
Yeah, dude, of course.
Aliens vs. Predator should have been, but they made two and they both sucked.
Yeah.
They tried, but they both sucked.
I mean, I'll play the video games or read the comics. Awesome.
Amazing. Comics, just adapt the first comic.
Yeah,
first,
exactly.
What was it? Issues?
Those were fucking amazing.
6 issues.
Awesome shit. Actually, all like the Alien comics, and actually, I wanted to get into the
all the Dark Horse Alien stuff was A+++++.
Our friend was recently was posting a bunch of Hellraiser comics he had gotten off Comixology. That I was like, I never ventured into the Hellraiser comics realm, but apparently it's like some of the best Hellraiser outside of the first 2 movies in the most
I have
recent
some
one.
of them, and they're not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, apparently there are multiple storylines, and there are some that like Clive Barker legit just straight up wrote. I didn't realize Clive Barker was in a coma for a while and couldn't write for 6 years.
I didn't know that. I also didn't know that he wrote a script for the 1990s Godzilla movie that he was asked to make, and they didn't like it. In
the late 1980s with Mick Garris, Universal contacted them to do a reboot of The Mummy prior to the Brendan Fraser one, and they set it as in Beverly Hills, like a tomb got and it was supposed to be just batshit, and it's still they said they submitted it. Literally to this day, never got a call. Never even they asked him to submit this, and then they just fucking ghosted him because it was so batshit. But Clive is still
if those scripts can be found, like Clive Barker's Mummy and Godzilla. Yeah. I hope someday when we finally get AI to do the full video correctly, you know what I mean, where you can pump the script in and be like, show me what this movie would look like, even if it's still in the janky 2 years from now phase. I want to see a janky.
Well, because essentially it'd be fine because you're the audio technology is already great, so you could have good actors doing the audio. So essentially, it's just putting some slight imagery to a really good audio version of the script. You just need good, decent imagery. It could even be almost slightly animated still images, and it would still be better than nothing.
It just made me realize it was a few years ago in this show we were talking about Spider-Man 2099, which has been in my brain recently because the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie coming out in 2 weeks features heavily Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, that's cool.
He's one of the main characters in it.
But
we talked about the first issue of that comic. had his friend in a AI VR studio making a cowboy movie.
Yeah.
Where he literally was standing in the middle of all the horses running, being like, no, different hat on that
Yeah,
guy.
we're there.
Do this.
Before 20, yeah.
Like I'm saying, like that was only 4 years ago. Maybe we were talking about how fun that would be to do in the future. We can do that now, just shitty. But still, we couldn't do it 3 years ago.
Remember when
now we can do it shitty, which means
multiple
we'll do
times,
it good soon.
Multiple times on this when we were granted when we were talking about it, we were saying this is what is going to happen. Where you're like,
but not by 2099. Now this can happen in a decade.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about when we were talking about people like. We're like, at some point, people are just going to be able to lease their license, so you can say, "I want time," and that is now happening.
I'm not even thinking about the
happening.
actors at this point. I'm just thinking about the AI virtual studio, if you will. Where on your computer, you can be like, "Here's a page of my script. Make me a CG version of it."
I want James Earl Jones to voice this character. Boom.
And on this page, he's buying a cheeseburger and he doesn't like it, so he kills the guy.
Yeah.
And you see it happen in front of you.
And the thing I'm thinking of already, what I've noted, I was reading that there's some I can't remember which program it was that was doing this, but they already are now doing, which is again saving a crap load of time. Sure, it's going to impact jobs, but also. This job specifically seems like it would be one that would just speed processes up. The generative storyboard. So you type in, you give it your script.
Oh yeah,
and then you give it like the prompts will be like, oh no, we want it. So it is trained on actual storyboard. So it gives you the style and everything, and also inside each storyboard, you can then essentially put a 3D camera and actually then see, and you can test your camera movements like essentially a motion finder inside. Just your storyboard. So some of the shit is really going to speed up production, also make it democratize it to a certain degree.
There's going to be
eat up jobs. Yeah,
like the Kevin Smith Superman film that never got made.
Yeah,
where he fights a giant space spider, I believe. Which I think Kevin Smith was actually he wasn't smoking weed at that time. Yeah, that was just a bad idea. Yeah, that was a sober bad. That's just a straight up sober bad idea. Yeah, that's it. But if that script could get leaked out to the internet, I mean. I can picture some geek sitting down and hammering down on this AI video.
I also feel like
just make it.
And I also feel like that could lead to then studios being like, "Oh, we didn't see this
concept.
Yeah, we didn't see it as this in our heads when we read it because you can't like read it and you don't get the whole thing. You're going to see
Superman fist fighting a space spider and go, "Oh, why did we make that?"
Not that one specifically. No, I'm thinking a little bit different. I'm thinking maybe
it makes so much sense. Remember Superman's greatest villain, Space Spider?
Come on, guys, it'll catch on.
Everyone, it's Lex Luthor, Doomsday, Space Spider.
Yeah, man, how not high do you have to be to come up with Space Spider? Anyway, moving on. I think that's that gets us to
Kevin
the end
Smith's
of that.
Batman film, Ground Octopus. Yeah, Batman just fights a ground octopus. I like things with legs in places they shouldn't be.
Yeah, and atmospheres they definitely cannot traverse, so they're very easy to defeat. You know, like what's easier than defeating a ground spider? A space spider. Because they're not fucking meant there.
You can't give Kevin Smith a trilogy. He's going to do Space Spider, thing with too many legs where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Ground Squid, things with too many legs shouldn't be. And then third film, subvert your expectations. Crippled man on escalator. Too few legs where he shouldn't be.
Oh, man. All right.
He just rides it to the top. That's how he has fun.
This is my...
Who's his villain? Green Lantern. He kind of is like he's like a Satan to the crippled guy. He just keeps making more escalators he has to go up.
I mean, escalators aren't like... I mean, they're not terrible. You can sit on... They're better than stairs for
We went to a movie
folks.
theater 2 weeks ago with escalators that had a sign saying...
Out of order.
Out of order.
And then a blocked...
And they blocked them. But they're next to stairs.
Which are just escalators that don't move.
Stairs. So basically, there's 3 sets of stairs going up.
I love it.
One, they won't let you walk on because they're broken.
The broken set of escalators, Yeah, just like, I would have just said like, hey, brand new, futuristic looking stairs. Yeah. And just boom.
Would you like the wood stairs or the steel stairs?
Yeah, cool. I like the steel stairs. I can get my shoelace caught in it and not die.
It's like the dumbest thing I ever saw. It's like it's a fucking broken escalator.
A broken escalator are stairs. It's great.
A broken elevator is just a closet.
It's a closet. You know, it's
a closet that might move your stuff someday.
Yeah, exactly. And, it could,
Someday it becomes a yard sale that you have no control over.
Yep. I
really wanted to go to the first floor using the brand new fixed elevator, but apparently it's now a rummage sale full of some guy's shirts and shoes. I'll take this blazer.
Hey, And that guy just made off with my $1.25.
Also, I just came up with a new business idea. Moving thrift store. You just put a bunch of escalators in a elevators in the building.
Yeah.
Fill them with stuff, and they just kind of cycle through the floors. And when they open, you pull stuff out, and they got the RFID tags. So as they pass the door jam, you have to open it with your credit card. So anything you pull through the door, it scans the tag, charges to your card that opened the door.
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
So basically, it's a moving store, goes up and down, meaning you got to be there and ready for it.
Yeah. That's what people have been missing in
It's like
stores.
it's like that movie, The Platform, where the food was going up and down. They had to fight for it.
Hey, you guys know how people don't go to
I
stores?
want a JCPenney that goes up 20 floors and you have to fight for it.
Yeah. It's the I love the like. I know people aren't going shopping out in stores anymore, but you know what would bring people back if they then have to find it, fight for it, and get it in a split second.
Unnecessary hurdles.
Yeah. It's like,
it would make it viral.
it's
People
sorta-
would TikTok themselves
It is, yeah.
doing it. Be like, I want those Yeezy sneakers
Yeah.
coming down. Be like, get ready.
Yeah. And sometimes you just grab shit you don't want because they're there and you're like panicking and just grab the first thing. You're like, that blouse! Fuck it! I got a chance to buy something from a movie, JCPenney.
Shit, all I got was this Gollywog.
JCPenney? What the
JCPenney knows us Gollywogs
Yeah.
in 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, well. All right. Anyway, on to web droppings, folks. Web droppings! There we go. Nice sting.
Sheffield man beat neighbor to death with bag of Pokemon cards.
Oh, one of the things, before we get too deep into the story, one of the things I changed a little bit in this was... because we admittedly use
I hated this this bullet pointing, so I opened the story.
We admittedly use ChatGPT or Bing's chat or
we
whatever
use the bullet point in our show notes
to help bullet point, which then do a side by side when we read to help bullet point, and then we take things out. What you need to do next time when you have one of these that comes from the BBC is say, don't spell it like those damn fucking BBC fuckers.
like color.
Yeah, I took all the U's out. I couldn't stand the squiggles. I saw all
Did
the
you
squiggles.
go through and edit the use app? You know, you
Yeah.
could have just cut and pasted into ChatGPT and said make it English.
Yeah.
but not that English.
Yeah. It actually, I literally deleted 4 U's. It was quicker to do it that way than copy paste.
No, I'd be like, I want to train GPT. I want to berate it. Be like, don't ever do this.
Don't do that again. I know it came from the BBC, and you're technically just like, but like in my English,
It's
not real English, my English.
This was the one story where it bulleted it a little oddly, and I did try to tweak my GPT ask. Instead of saying bullet like the top 6 factual things from it, I said, this story's weird. I want to make sure you keep the weird stuff in with the facts. Add more bullets if needed.
By the way, their bulleting actually is pretty poor because like generally all it does, I've noticed, if there's a paragraph break, they pretty much just put a bullet in front of it and they shorten it a little bit. So it's not. I mean, it helps read it. It helps boil it down, and it helps. And also, like, I don't have to worry about putting everything in reader mode and trying to like 75 pop-ups coming up if I don't have the ad block working properly or whatever. So
it
I
also
still prefer
doesn't
it,
help
but-
that these stories are probably written by the journalists using ChatGPT.
Yeah, so it's like just using it the same, like, I can't do anything with this. This is my own thing.
We're like human centipeding this. Like the story's being regurgitated and redone and refixed.
They have mentioned that, like, and one of the reasons they're like, there'll never be
vanilla paste.
there's never going to be a time when like it's 100%.
I want the vanilla paste, not the cuttlefish.
Well, because they've talked about using
That's a South Park
ChatGPT
reference.
to feed itself, and to human centipede itself, and like that.
Sometimes I want the vanilla paste that is a bad blogger writing instead of the cuttlefish, which is GPT with a bad blogger not checking it.
Yes, and also it's probably being trained on a bunch of bad bloggers and not necessarily recognizing it.
All right.
It also just adds there is something at some point we're gonna run out. We're gonna run out of like content to train these things on. It's suddenly gonna be trained on its own shitty content. Like, I mean, at the moment, it is still pretty shitty at writing a lot of stuff. It's just when you need really bland, don't offend anybody writing. It's great. Certain copy things.
No, I asked it once to write me one chapter, like 1/3 of a Treehouse of Terror Simpsons episode that never existed about Friday the 13th, but write it in the style of season 6's Conan O'Brien. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Well, yeah, because people know, like, it's too nice to be creative. Like, it's still way too nice.
It's too shackled.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because creativity has to go off the rails. Let alone
it's
like
so we don't get.
That's why like horror writers, especially, are like transgressive genres.
Horror
are
is
gonna
always
be
going to
really,
be human written until they unleash. GPT.
Because even if GPT gets unleashed, there's still going to be people who think outside of the box that GPT hasn't even been trained on that kind of depravity yet. So.
I get it. Like I get that we lack that, and we're never going to get it in the near time. But at the same time, it's also not writing MAGA manifestos.
Yes.
So you lose some, you win some.
That's the problem. It's tough. It's really going to be specific to, like, tailored maybe to specific use cases. So like certain industries can buy the unshackled version knowing it's inside of its own sandbox, and that they're not going to, they might get really horrible stuff, but they're not going to publish it. It's not going to, because they're shackled, they're internally shackled. They want the wildness. They'll do their own filtering, but letting it out for everybody to do that is a little bit dangerous, I see. But anyway, nothing about that. Sheffield man beat neighbor to death with a bag of Pokemon cards. Scott?
Andrew Haig, 31, murdered Simon Wilkinson, 50, in a ferocious and brutal attack outside of his flat on Fox Hill Road, Sheffield. This is from the UK, by the way.
These men are too old to be killing each other or beating each other over Pokemon. Or is it just with?
It wasn't
over, it was with. Okay.
Not over,
okay.
with.
Okay.
Haig also punched and stamped on the father of one in a sustained assault witnessed by horrified neighbors.
Okay, so it sounds like this is definitely good for like clickbaity stuff, but it sounds like other things also could have led to the death.
I put this in here for a reason. Haig suffers from psychotic disorders, most likely schizophrenia, and this was exacerbated, and I hate this because this is the judge's words that have been put into this thing, by cannabis use.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was the psychosis that did this. Pot, if anything, probably calmed him down most of the time.
Yeah, and I don't know how that,
maybe if you're...
I'm not sure if there's certain things, if cannabis might interact.
I just don't like how they blame pot
issues
in this story more than once, so I'm going to not say it again.
Yes.
But this is what happened. He came out with a bag, and in the bag there were 4 or 5 tins of Pokemon cards. For people who don't know, Pokemon cards come in little packets like baseball cards.
Yes.
But you can also buy these tins of them where you get a lot of packs in one tin.
Yeah.
But then you keep the tins to hold the cards.
Yeah.
So it's aluminum
collectible
tins,
in the
collectibles. You put 5 of them in a bag. And witnesses described seeing Haig repeatedly swinging the bag like a cricketer.
So they're like mini. They're like it's a bag of rocks, filled with.
It was essentially
condensed cards.
If each tin was actually full of cards,
then
they're a rock.
Yeah, it was essentially like putting up like a bunch of rolls of quarters in a fucking sock and beating somebody with it.
Yeah, or soap in a pillowcase.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think back to the prison movies of my youth.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, prison movies of our youth.
When I was a kid, my parents were like, just watch this movie where they fucking kill someone in prison. That's going to definitely...
Close your eyes at the rape part.
Oh, you're wondering why I'm not a Republican like you as a grown-up. The prison system looks like it needs fixing. Apparently, everyone has pillowcases and soap.
I think they should do something about it. Why
as a liberal, I would have taken away their soap and pillowcases.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a bunch of filthy...
Fixed it!
Yeah, there's a bunch of dejected, filthy prisoners. Yeah, well, we got a whole...
Well, they're not beating each other to death now, are they?
Yeah, a lot of people dying of athlete's foot, but other than that, we're all good.
So that's basically the entire bulk of the story. He beat him up with that, then stomped him and punched him until he was dead. Several of the neighbors said that they had PTSD, if you will. I think they use a British version of it, like DTP. That's how Brits work. Like a lift is a elevator and a flat.
I thought you meant like lift LYFT.
No, I'm assuming they have a different word.
Uber.
Oh no, they probably still use shell shock.
Yeah,
because that was the original term.
Oh
for
yeah,
PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah.
That's the whole story. It's weird, it's crazy, and I really hate the fact that the judge, and that's why the person who wrote the story keeps saying throughout the story, cannabis use was definitely a cause of this. No, it wasn't. As far as I can say, as a cannabis user, I've never had schizophrenia, which also isn't considered a real mental disorder anymore. Well, it's actually an old-timey term for several other medical conditions.
Well, and the thing about the judge, noting that, I'm guessing the judge noted it because at some point there was some, medical, reason to say that for, so in other words, there may have been, but I would not...
Yeah, he had a joint in his mouth when he was doing it. He was wearing a pot leaf t-shirt. He was playing, what's that rapper, the one who did the Let's Get High song from 2002?
Oh, Afroman?
Afroman. He was playing Afroman.
Hey, the guy who, wasn't he the one who also had that, viral hit?
I sent you that stuff, didn't I?
Fix my garage door.
Yeah, I sent you that. No, did I send you the new stuff he did?
No, not the new stuff. No.
Did I really not even tell you about the new stuff?
No,
yet?
no.
'Cause that is show-worthy.
I just knew from the garage door issue that he had.
Did I not tell you about the raid on his house by the police?
No, that was the fix my garage door one.
That is the same one?
They kicked at his door and they
Okay,
yeah,
it's the same one because they did all the other stuff to his house.
And he made a new song and he used
the
the
lemon
footage.
pound cake.
And he used
That
the
one
footage
too?
or something. Yeah, I haven't seen any. I just know that one specific viral video.
I think it was not on air, but I told you like there's 3 viral videos of his recently where the police raided his house looking for sex trafficking victims and drugs.
Yeah.
And he made 3 songs. One's a fat cop looking at his grandma's, I think it was his grandma's lemon pound cake on the counter, and he keeps just looking at it as he walks by. And he did a whole rap song about the fat cop.
I got so much
wanting
more
his lemon pound cake.
So much more. I never had any disrespect for him, but I never. I was like,
love the man now.
But I like so much respect for him.
Did you see the one where he was looking, where the cops are looking for sex trafficker or sex trafficking?
I only saw the garage door one. Yeah,
but they were going through like his CD wallets and stuff, and part of the rap's like, "Cop, look at my CD wallet. Did you find a sex victim? No, you didn't. You didn't find a sex victim in my CD wallet."
Yeah. Oh, there she is.
And then they like open up his refrigerator, like, "Did you find a sex trafficking victim in my refrigerator? No, you didn't."
That's awesome. I'll check those out because I actually never really dove too deep. I just had a lot of respect for him.
I've been following the story for a while, but never watched the videos.
Motherfucker, yeah.
Like one night, Kelly and I, we
so
sat
politicized.
Down,
yeah,
we watched all 3 music videos that are about this. You've seen one then, and it's hard to make my wife laugh that hard. She was literally crying laughing.
Yeah, I'll check the rest out because
we're doing this right after the show's over.
Yeah. Well, I won't. I'll do it later. Yeah, I gotta get to a bunch of other shit. Yeah, I know. I wish I could just have fun and watch it. I'll do that. It'll be my going to bed shit.
I'm sending you links.
But they're easy to find, I know. But please send me links. That'll actually save me a few minutes. We're gonna move on to the next story. I think we got this one. We might have another one.
We got enough time for one more.
Yeah, we've definitely got this one. We might have enough time for one more.
This is yours, so I don't even need.
Yeah, exactly. A Missouri agency tried to classify a fetus as an employee, raising concerns about personhood laws. Of course, that's the serious part about this. That there's all these questions in all these states, especially red states, about what classifies being a person. Of course, people are like, well, when it comes to not being able to kill it in the womb, it should be treated like a person, but also the person, doesn't necessarily have to pay child support on it until it's popped out of the pussy, because, and blah, blah, blah. So, it's always, obviously, a lot of hypocritical stuff going on there, and it's just a lot of nonsensical stuff. But the Missouri Department of Transportation argued that a fetus who died in utero during a work-related accident was actually an employee and therefore shielded from the family's lawsuit. Caitlin Anderson was 6 months pregnant when she and a colleague were killed while doing road work near St. Louis in 2021. Her fetus also died. Anderson's family tried to sue the department on her behalf, but workers' comp laws in Missouri shield employers from wrongful death lawsuits when an employee dies on the job. The case was also filed on behalf of the unborn child, Jax, which is a pretty sweet fucking name, because Missouri law defines life and legal rights at the beginning of conception. One of the things about this is that, and a lot of states have this where it's just so ambiguous as far as okay, if you're considering it a person, what person laws apply to that person?
Yeah. Carpool lane was the thing that came up recently too.
Right, every pregnant woman absolutely immediately allowed to use a carpool lane.
Also, child support should start the second he pulls out.
Exactly, that's exactly it. And guess what? Once you find out you're pregnant, I figured
the guy doesn't want to raise it. The second he pulls out and says, "Nope, not raising that." That sack of sperm in your gut.
I also don't know how
he should have to pay $1,000 a month for that sack of sperm in your gut. Guess who's suddenly going to be for an abortion?
Yeah, and we need to be. It needs to be prorated. Also, it needs to be mandatory. Or at least, I would say, the paternity test needs to be we need to.
I love the
anybody needs to be. Well, it has to be prorated, because you don't find out you're pregnant
9 months later. $9,000 owed by the father if he doesn't want to be the dad.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
there in the spot.
Yeah.
Second it pops out, you owe $9,000 to the mom.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be some accountability on the male, in these situations.
Oh, guys are getting off way too easy on all these fucking laws. They're basically made to control women and to remove accountability for men.
Well, yeah, and there's okay, well, are we gonna have state paid for paternity tests so that the women can find out oh, okay, are you the real father? So I can actually say, even though we've never been married, even though you owe me child support, now all of a sudden these dudes who aren't pulling out have 6 kids, but they don't have to take care of them. You fucking do, and you have to take care of them 9 months earlier than you ever had to before.
An extra $9,000 on each dad.
Yeah.
It's also like the gender affirming care where they need to really add Viagra to that list. That's gender affirming care.
I also just
if your little dick is too shriveled and fucked up because you're 80 and you still want to bang young girls,
I also think we should.
You don't get the Viagra. It's gender affirming care. It affirms your gender. It makes your dick work.
And we're talking about something being a potential child. Then I do also believe that life begins.
Children shouldn't get Viagra either.
Well, life begins in the balls. Life begins in the balls. Like if you jack off or you come on some tits or whatever, you have committed genocide. So you now no longer, because you have killed so many potential human lives. So that's all a fetus is a potential life. It's not even to the point of viability.
1 million life sentences for that bukkake.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I can't watch it. It's like 17 Holocaust. It's like, they look like they were a pretty good time.
I've seen that video, Bukkake Holocaust.
Yeah. And, oh my God. I wish I want to take a Bukkake video and recut it like a really horrible documentary. Like
it goes black and white and just slow-mo.
Orchestral scores behind it. Dun, 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 dun. And then
only the girl's thong is red in the video. It's all black and white.
Yeah, and then just like the slow violin little sound is like the kiss is just dripping down her face. Of course, we're gonna have the
2 million potential presidents, lawyers, and cancer doctors were killed in this one bukkake.
Yeah, granted, these are people who signed up to be in a bukkake, so I'm gonna guess probably none of those, but probably more of the next bukkake stars. Which, yay, gotta have them. But yeah, no, the whole like this is when the second it's just on the woman, now it's a person. It's like, yeah, it's still like it's not even about viability at that point. Okay, well then why don't we roll it back even more? Make life begin in the balls, and now let's start criminalizing men for not having choice over their bodies. So
yeah, incels are immediately all jailable.
Yeah, well for just splashing.
Yeah, they're just splashing. All incels go to jail.
And by the way, like if you have at some point, men are going
Christians
to have,
should hate. White
point,
nationalist Christian nationalists should hate incels.
Yeah,
they're not breeding because they hate women for not breeding.
Yep.
So why don't they hate incels?
Yeah, and they're also
it's
incels.
Almost like a lot of them are incels.
Yeah, and a lot of them are incels, and a lot of them are fucking hypocrites and they're idiots. And they don't actually care about what's right.
Laid, so I'm going to make laws that make it so women have to get laid, or I can go out and rape a woman and she has to make me the daddy.
Yeah,
they get to pick their mommies, or no, they're kids' mommies.
Yeah,
they don't get to pick their mom. Well, that's a different thing.
Well, could I do
You're my mommy now. Wow, I thought rape was bad to begin with.
Yeah, this is
shouting that during it. Ooh, that just made it a whole new level.
Boy, Freudian rape is the worst.
Freudian rape. Oh God.
But
I think that's almost a title, but
I feel
it's a hard title.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, also, my opening thing could be a title too, but it also
Yeah. We're probably
our subject matter in this one's a bit harder.
little lighter for the titles because boy, you can get flagged real quick for that stuff. But so my like new content is I was definitely thinking like an Office Space, but like just all fetuses. Like, but still just like literally like Office Space. Because these are all fetuses who are technically employees. But if you actually saw, your little Pretty Faces Going to Hell had that episode with the fetus episode. I'm good guy with gun. No, I'm the good guy with the gun.
So did the
Gary fucking coming up like there was also the all shot like
there was also the Bush sitcom on Comedy Central.
That's true. Yeah,
they had the fetus ride in on the horse. The dog rode in on the dog.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking when you actually treat these fetuses as employees, I want to see like an office of just like fetuses, like fucking Franklin's, fucking had a rough one with his wife last night, blah blah blah. Yeah, he kicked out, supposed to sleep on the couch, but it's all taking place in a womb.
I want a anti-incel, right-wing, white nationalist, Christian nationalist ad campaign with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It just starts with a guy watching like hentai, and he's just jerking it. And he shoots his load, and in slow motion, you see it go across the camera, and then suddenly Marjorie Taylor Greene smashes open the door, and she's like there, like Superman almost, and she just slides, legs open first, and catches it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, whoa, That was almost 1 million dead Americans.
Yeah. Potentially, yes, potentially. But again, we're talking about potential life.
Because she's not a hypocrite, she will now give birth to that incel's baby to save one of those million lives.
That's right. She definitely will, because these people definitely stand by what they say.
She catches what looks like a super soaker filled with mayo into her Neanderthal catcher mitt.
And just sliding in like fucking somebody into second base.
And he has those...
Yeah, and there's an umpire there for some reason.
Yeah, safe! Yeah. Literally, that baby is safe! Yes, literally an umpire in the corner of the living room. And then she just mugs to the camera. One less baby dead.
That's right. And meanwhile, there's just still this cum saturating the ball field.
It's all over her. It's on the shag carpet. The incel's scared because his house just got home invaded.
Yeah, and there's a baseball field in here now.
There's like a full diamond.
Oh, there's definitely dust coming up when she's sliding. It's got to be straight up, but like, that baby is safe.
The Empire pulls off the mask, and it's the incel's mom, and says, I knew you'd find a good girl someday.
Yeah, that's
and then, like, mugs to the camera, and Marjorie mugs to her.
Yeah. Don't put that dirty dick in me, though. You fucking creep.
And then
you're still technically celibate.
And then when it cuts to black and does the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene stopping incels from murdering babies, it doesn't completely cut out the background audio, and she's just like, can you get this out of me? How quick can we get an abortion?
Yeah.
They just quietly said in the background.
No, I just gotta like fucking scoop it out or something like that. Yeah, I don't.
Can you like reverse turkey baster this shit?
Yeah. What if I just power wash from my mouth down? Will that work? Just spray it out? Come on. You gotta be able to.
I don't want a baby that smells like mystery Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Code Red baby. Comes out bright orange.
It's a Baja Blast. It's a Baja Blast, baby.
I think on that note, we're just going to go ahead and tell everybody to get lost.